YouTube, what's going on? Hey, yeah, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate, man, I can't. I appreciate y'all watching my videos, man. Um, TRB, what's going on, man? Been watching your videos a long time, man. Uh, my tax videos, I don't know, man. It's I don't them tax videos are not too polished. I think I need to put a little bit more work in them before I start like doing a collabo deal with another driver or something like that. I need graphics and transitions and captions and that crazy guy. But anyway, yeah, I just got out the shower, man. Smelling good, feeling good about getting to bed. Um, yeah, this video gonna be about it's pretty much a response to somebody who left a comment. Um, he wanted to know what's the average rates on the board. The average rate on the board, I'm starting to see. I mean, to tell you the truth, the rates be all over the place. The rates, I've seen loads paying as low as 20 cents a mile. And then I've seen loads pay as much as $20 a mile. So it just depends on what's going on. But for the most part, you want to run regional. That's pretty much where the money is at. I mean, yeah, you pretty much want to run regional. You want to do at least one load a day. I prefer, guys. I try to tell guys you want to do 2 loads a day because that's where the money at. Them loads that go about 150 to 250 miles, those are good paying loads. Like a load that's going 200 miles, it'll be paying about $2.50 a mile, $1.80, $1.90, $2 a mile, $2.50 a mile, sometimes $3 a mile to go 200 miles. That one load will pay about $500, anywhere from 300. I mean, like I ran a 150-mile load that paid $800. You know what I mean? And like, it's just crazy. It just depends, Like, it all just depends when you get on that board and you just pull it up and you start the scrolling, and that load will be staring at you right in your face. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the roll of the dice, man. It's just, you might be in that spot and you go looking on the board, and I'm like, you do a double take. Like, sometimes I do a double take, man. I look on that board and I'll be scrolling. I'm like, what? 1,200. I booked that load. Like, I'll check the details page and make sure it ain't nothing crazy. Because sometimes them loads that pay real good, it have some drama behind it. Like, I booked a load one time that went 200 miles. The load paid almost $1,500 to go 200 miles. 200 miles for it was like 1480 or something. It was about 1450. It was about $1,500 to go 200 miles. Now the load, it was like $6-7 a mile for that load. Now it had 4 stops, but that's fine. And the crazy thing about it, I knocked all 4 stops out by noon. And that was like on a Friday, and I went ahead and went on home. You know, that topped it off for the rest of the week. You know what I mean? That just topped it off. And that week, it was a 40, that $1,400 load put me up for the week. It was like $4,600, $4,500 for that week. That was like probably about 2 months ago, something like that. It was a Procter & Gamble load. It was toilet paper or something like that. And I took it to it was 4 or 5 Kroger stores I took that load to. And I picked the load up the day before. It was like I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock the day before, and I drove to the first stop, spent the night, got up early in the morning, and knocked on the receiving door, and they took that first stop off. Went to the next one, took that stop off. It was like 30 minutes at each stop, and I did that load. It was $1,400 for 200 miles for a day and a half work. So you can't beat that. And the load before it, I brought it. I think it was like 300 miles, 200, 300 miles. The load before it, and that load paid. I think it paid about $600 or something. So, yeah, I mean, but to tell you the truth, the average load I would say on that board is probably about, if you do regional runs, like if you do runs less than, if you stay in between 200 to 400 miles of your, house or your running area, I say the average rate is probably gonna be about $2 a mile. $1.50 to $3 a mile. Once you go above, like, once you start running like past maybe 400 miles, the rates, you start seeing the rates kind of drop a little bit. It's not a big difference, but you start to see, like, the more and the farther you run, the rates drop. When you see them 1,000-mile runs, like only time that loads pay real good, like, you might see a load that's $2.50 a mile, right? The load is $2.50 a mile, but the only time you're gonna see that load, that kind of rate on a load, is unless it's going in the Northeast. Like, loads going in the Northeast always pay good. But as you know, when you go up in the Northeast, you can't just run up there and come back. You gotta run up there and then run a few short runs and then work yourself back to your lane and then do it again. And that's what I used to do, but I stopped doing it because, like, what you end up doing is burning a lot of fuel. Because when you run in the short runs, you may gross less, or you may gross the same amount of money running around all over the place, but you net more because you ain't burning a whole bunch of fuel and your IFTA taxes is lower. Like right now, my IFTA taxes is like $50 a month. When I was running all over the place, my IFTA taxes was like $300 a month. 250. You know, I was like, God damn. So like when you look at your settlement and they deduct the last week of the month, they deduct the IFTA from your settlement, that last week of each month. And when you see that big chunk of money come out of your settlement, it's just like, damn. So like now, I say the last since like, I say like March, I've been running regional. And like, I go home every weekend. And it's just like, I compare that to when I was running, because I had like, there was these customers that pop on the board every week. Customers just pop up on the board every week. And like, I can just go up in the Northeast and I'll watch the board, and I know a certain time of the week that is on, it's either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, that this particular customer will put their loads on the board, and I'll book it. They'll put 2 of them at a time, and that'll bring me up in the Northeast, down to the Midwest, and back over to Georgia. And I would do that circle. Go up in the Northeast, book that load, come over to Ohio, and then out of Ohio, I'll book a load down to Arkansas, and then from Arkansas back to Georgia. And I'll do that same circle. I was doing that for a good while. And then I stopped and I started experimenting with different areas. Like I'll go to an area, I went to Texas and experiment with that area and see what loads are coming out. If any of y'all that live in Texas is great. I'm sorry. I know a lot of guys probably gonna shoot me right now. Nah, man, don't be telling people to come to Texas. Hey, to tell you the truth, I'm thinking about moving to Texas, man. I'm thinking about moving to Texas because it's a lot of fucking afraid of Texas. I'm not even gonna lie. It's just like, man, you could be home every night or every other night and make damn good money, $1,000 a day, easy. Like I look at that board and they're loads. Like you go on the board, you go to Dallas, you go to San Antonio, you go to Waco, Texas. Like shit. And it's just like when they drop them loads on them board, they go fast too, and they good paying loads. Some of them be heavy as shit, but like loads going 150 miles paying $500. And then you book that load, and then you can book another load going, a triangle. Because you can go to Dallas, Houston, what's that triangle? Like if you look at Texas, you got Dallas, what is it, San Antonio, and then Houston. And you can just run that triangle or a square, and it's like boom, 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 boom. If you live up in that area, and then like I don't know too much about Western Texas, but I know Eastern Texas is booming, man. Like Missouri, Oklahoma. Damn, I was thinking about moving out there, cause it's like, and then like with Texas, the speed limit is like 75 miles an hour, and then on the back roads the speed limit is 70 and shit. So like you can run real good out there and make good money, you know what I mean? Because these trucks ain't governed, you know what I mean? You can ride, you can make your money, you know what I'm saying? You make your money. I went out to Texas and experimented a little while, and right now I'm just running the South, man. I try to book about 2 loads a day because that's where the money at. So it's kind of, I'll run 150 mile or anywhere from 150 mile to a 250 mile load, drop that, and then within 20 or 30 miles or out that same customer, I'm pulling out a load and I'm going to somewhere else, and I'm just running a triangle. Like I'll go up, down, cross, up, down, cross. You know what I mean? It's just, but it takes time to learn that. You know what I mean? You just don't know that. You know what I mean? It just takes time to. You gotta watch the board when you're taking a break. when you fueling up or you in the truck stop, get something to eat, I stop and fuel up. I stop, go to the bathroom. I check. You know what I mean? Shit. When I'm at home, I'm checking the board. When I'm on the toilet, when I'm cutting the grass, I got my phone out looking at loads. I'm like, damn, oh shit, I could have worked today. You know what I mean? So it's like, or I be at the grocery store or something, or I be out with my girl. I put my phone out, and it's funny because my girl be like, "What you doing? You looking at loads? Put that phone down." But yeah, man, like yeah, man, and yeah, the rates ain't that bad. I mean, it's up to you, because the crazy thing about the board is that you book your own loads. And the great thing about it is that you book your own loads, because it's like you don't have no dispatcher. You the dispatcher. Like if you want to book a 80 cent a mile loads, that's on you. You booked it. That's, because you call Schneider and you be like, oh, this load. They be like, well, that load yours. You booked it. What you crying about? You know what I mean? So yeah, the board. Yeah, I mean it's just take a little time, whatever. But it's because the thing is, a lot of guys, they look at the rates, and like with me, you not only got to look at the rates, you got to look at the state that you running through, because some states are expensive to run through. Like Georgia is a very expensive state to run freight in, because like the rates in Georgia are not that good, and then with the fuel tax that Georgia's got, it kind of eat into your profit, because the fuel in Georgia is a little bit expensive, just like Florida. So I like to stay in South Carolina and North Carolina and Alabama. That's where I like to run loads at. So it's like I'll go to Alabama and run some loads, and then when it's time for me to go home, I get a load going straight to my city, straight to Atlanta. And then out of Atlanta, I get a load coming out of Atlanta going to North Carolina or South Carolina. That's it. I don't like to run around in expensive states, because you gotta look at like the fuel tax, the road tax, all that stuff eat into your revenue. So it's just like that's another thing a lot of guys don't talk about. Everybody talk about the rates, but then if you running regional, you running these same states every week, every day, and it's just like sometimes you got to pay attention to the fuel that you buy in these states. I like to stay in South Carolina because fuel is dirt cheap in South Carolina, and the rates are pretty good in South Carolina. You know what I mean? Because like you can get a load like $1.70, $1.80 a mile, when the fuel is dirt cheap in South Carolina. You can profit way more than you can in Georgia. You know what I mean? Or than other states. Like there be loads going to Pennsylvania that's paying like $1.70, $1.80, or $2 a mile. But everybody knows Pennsylvania road tax is expensive as hell. Like shit, I haven't been up there in a while, but my road tax going in, I used to run Pennsylvania all the time because they always have them, the rates be good, but it kind of balance out because the road tax is expensive and their fuel is expensive. You looking at like 50 cent a gallon more than any other state on fuel. You know what I mean? Because like I'll come down to South Carolina, I'll get fuel for like $2.05 a gallon, right? And then you go up to Pennsylvania, fuel is like $2.40, $2.50, $2.60 a gallon and shit. I'm like, God damn. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and then, Schneider, we get a discount. So it's like, even with the discount, it may take off about 40 something cent off the price. But it's like, if I'm in South Carolina and we get a 30-cent discount, I'm getting fuel for $1.80 a mile, $1.80 a gallon. You know what I mean? So, and then you got to factor in your road tax. So after road tax, I think South Carolina road tax is like 16, 17, 18 cent. So like you actually paying for the fuel is like $1.60 a gallon. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of guys don't necessarily, you got to look at the states that you're running in, how you running, and where you running. So it's not always just the rates. But yeah, man. I just wanted to share that, man. Just to answer your question. You know, but I'm about to get into bed. I appreciate y'all watching my videos. I'll see y'all next time. All right.